Welcome to Proven Improbable. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. Joining us today is Gregory Beischer of Millrock Resources, which is a premier prospect generator trading on the TSX, symbol MRO, and on the OTC, MLRKF. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Maurice. Thank you for inviting me.
Before we begin today's discussion, it's important to note that Millrock Resources was hand-selected to be one of the exhibitors at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium, which is a very distinctive honor. So we are quite delighted to have you here on our show today, sir.
Oh, thanks, Maurice. Yeah, that Sprott conference was excellent. The companies that were our neighbors at that show were all great companies, and we were really proud to be counted amongst them.
Greg, for first-time listeners, please share, what is a project generator?
Well, some companies call themselves prospect generators, and that's a bit more common term than project generator, but I prefer project. Look, the way we operate our mineral exploration business is to identify and acquire mineral rights over large tracts of land, district scale land packages, a project that might have hundreds of prospects or dozens of prospects on it. But our way of operating is to, once the mineral rights are acquired and we show the potential for discovery of a mineral deposit, we always get a partner and let them fund the exploration on the project. And that way, we can operate 4, 5, 6 exploration projects at any one time, and thereby increasing the chances that we'll make a discovery of a mineral deposit that could be a mine, and thereby increase our share price, reward our shareholders in a really big way.
Well, thank you for conveying that. I had the honor of meeting you this past week in New Orleans, which was quite a challenge because investors, they were lined up to speak with you. So, Greg, let's share with listeners some of the virtues that captured investors' attention at the conference that distinguished Millrock Resources, beginning with exploration. Please share with investors what type of metals you're seeking to discover.
Yes, gold, silver, copper has been our main focus, in fact, throughout our 9-year history. But, what we're really looking for right now is the next metal that's going to go up. So I see uranium being at an absolute low. I see copper having great potential to increase in the coming years. So over the last 2 years, we've been very aggressive building our portfolio in gold and silver projects, and it looks like our timing might have been very good.
Well, twofold question for you here as well. What type of exploration does Millrock Resources conduct, and why does it employ this methodology?
Well, we're early stage explorers. Our projects sometimes are even conceptual in nature. Other times we've been able to acquire projects that have known mineral resources in the ground. But we do the earlier stage type thing. So we're doing stream sediment surveys, soil sampling, geophysical surveys, geologic mapping, prospecting. But our model is, before the expensive drilling campaigns start, we always bring in a partner and they fund the drilling. So very often we bring our project forward to the point of drill readiness, but then we get a partner before the costs really ramp up.
Now, how does Millrock Resources reduce risk by this process?
Well, as I described a little, we can operate 4, 5, or even more projects at any one time because most of our funding is coming from other mining companies rather than investors or people who have bought shares in our company. So really, if you were to invest $1 in Millrock, by the time we've made our partnerships, that actually gets transformed into $7 or $8 worth of mineral exploration work. So it's a way to increase our chance of success, decrease our chance of failure, and therefore increase the chances that we'll make the discovery that'll take Millrock's share price much higher than it is today.
Well, I certainly love the virtues of leverage, and you've just conveyed one of those leverages with the project model. May I ask you this as well? One of the virtues of good management is the ability to attract partners, specifically in prospect generation, joint venture partners. Who are some of your JV partners?
Well, our current partners include the giant Australian gold mining company Newcrest, as well as the mid-tier producer Centerra Gold, and another small company called Vista Minerals. So these companies presently are earning their way into our projects. We're typically the operator, so we execute the exploration on behalf of these larger companies. And in so doing, we make a little bit of money. We charge a management fee. Other companies that we've done business with in the past include Kinross, Teck, Vale. And it's interesting, at this conference that you and I were both at recently in New Orleans, the stock gurus like Rick Rule recommend to their investor clientele to always do your own due diligence. But I think for the Millrock investor, the due diligence is already done. Teck, Kinross, Vale, these companies don't give away millions of dollars unless the exploration project has some real merit. And so I think Millrock's a safe bet that way. You know that we're creating the types of projects that could realistically result in the discovery of a mineral deposit.
Yeah, thank you for conveying that. Now, I noticed that Millrock as well has been expanding its portfolio during this bear cycle, which is quite impressive. Please share with investors which jurisdictions that you're exploring and the purpose for expanding geographically.
Sure. Well, Alaska is my home base. That's where the company started, even though we're listed on the Venture Exchange in Canada. And we always balanced the seasonality of Alaska exploration by working in Arizona. But more recently, as you said, in the last 2 years, we've expanded. And we made a big move into Sonora State, Mexico by buying an entire Mexican exploration company that came complete with about a dozen projects, a great geologic database of information, and most importantly, the people that are knowledgeable, the knowledgeable geologists that know how to execute and know the geology of that jurisdiction. More recently, we made a big move last November into the Stewart Golden Triangle area of British Columbia. This is a hot area. There's been some fantastic discoveries of gold and copper over the last years, new mines going into production as we speak. But last November, the bottom was really in. It was complete capitulation. And we were able to build up really large district scale land packages by making agreements with other companies that were no longer viable, with prospectors that were on hard times. We acquired these lands very, very inexpensively. There's some great prospects on this land. And, at the time, it still seemed like a lot of money we were investing in a horrible market. And we didn't know if our timing was right. It could have been, it was a big risk we were taking, quite honestly. But as fortune had it in this particular case, it looks like our timing might have been right.
Well, great use of optionality. Kudos to you, sir. Let's talk about some numbers here. Who are some of the major shareholders?
Yeah, well, Rick Rule personally, as well as his firm, Sprott Global, has invested in our company, and many of his close followers and brokers even at that institution. Additionally, the Casey Fund is a big shareholder. There's a group out of Carlsbad, California, also own a very large portion of the company, about 25%. And John Tugnetti at Haywood. And so, these are, I would call them very influential shareholders. First of all, they understand our business model. They're patient shareholders. They're waiting for us to make that great big discovery. And when we do, they're going to make sure the whole world knows about it. And, there's not many shares outstanding, only 40 million shares outstanding in the company right now. And so I think we're really highly leveraged. If we give these shareholders any reasonable exploration success, they're going to make sure the world knows and that our share price responds accordingly.
You just mentioned some names that are exclusive to the natural resource space, so you've attracted some very, very good capital there. Finally, how much cash do you have, And how much do you need to continue operations on an annual basis?
Right. We have about $2.5 million in our bank account right now. We spend over the years, on average, we've spent around $2 million every year exploring and running our business. But unlike a lot of exploration companies, we have some income. We're the operator of our joint ventures, and so we charge a modest management fee to our partners. So, for example, if Teck funds $1 million exploration program, around 10% of that comes back to our treasury. And sometimes the companies in the agreements we have with them will pay option payments to us. So we're able to offset some of the $2 million that we spend every year. In the better years, for example, in 2010, we were able to completely offset. So we're essentially cash flow neutral. And that's great. We don't want to make big profits in our exploration business. We just want to keep it sustainable, continuous, and viable through good times and bad. And so we can stretch $2.5 million a long way.
Yes, I see you've exemplified that throughout the years. I've had an opportunity to look at some of the numbers on CDAR. Greg, last question. What did I forget to ask?
Well, you didn't ask me about catalysts. What could make the stock price of Millrock go up in the near future? So, we've just completed a drilling program at our Los Chinos gold project in Sonora State, Mexico. We anticipate receiving those results in full by early December, and there will be an announcement about that. Every time we mount a new drilling campaign, that's a chance that we're going to make that great discovery that propels our share price upwards. You have to drill a lot of different projects before you have that success. But my goal over the coming 3 years, 4 years, however long this bull market is going to last, is to have a drill turning on one project or the other, whether it's in Sonora, British Columbia, or Alaska. We're going to be drilling almost constantly, and therefore our shareholders are all going to be almost constantly exposed to the possibility that we'll make that giant discovery that'll move Millrock from its current share price of 42 cents to over $1, maybe even $4, and maybe even beyond if we're really good and really lucky.
Well, I know shareholders are delighted to hear that. Before closing today's discussion, if an investor wants to get more information regarding Millrock Resources, please share the website, phone number, and the best person to contact.
Sure. You can contact me directly by emailing info@millrockresources.com. That'll come either to myself or our head of investor relations, Melanie Henderson. And you can also call Melanie or myself at 604-638-3164.
And if you would, what is the website? One last time, sir.
Sure. www.millrockresources.com.
Gregory Beischer of Millrock Resources. Thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable.
My pleasure, Maurice. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
All the best to you, sir.
Thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable. Remember to like and subscribe for more conversations with the most respected names in the natural resource space. Check out our website at www.provenandprobable.com. The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.